So for those of you who haven't been following along,
just reached the main roads, the crossroads in the center of town. A lot of people have assumed that we're going to do a rebuild.
shiny, shiny brand new Yanmars.
We say beta, Americans say beta. You know who I mean.
The red ones, the ones that make red engines.
We found the shop, so we didn't get lost. And,
Look how smug you are about that.
It's like I made a laundry bag. I would be apologising.
You should be apologising.
You still haven't got the skateboard out because the battery is not charged.
It isn't.
But we do have some good news. Last time on Red Seas, we left Makimo Atoll at sunset and exited the pass with some crazy high currents.
7.8 knots at one point.
We got the sails up and sailed overnight with dying winds, but somehow managed to turn up at the entry pass to the next atoll at just the right moment. When we arrived at our anchorage, we got our anchor chain caught on some rocks, so I jumped in to free it, and then we set a stern anchor too to keep us safe from swinging into some of the super shallow bonnies nearby. So loads of you have been asking what is going on with our engine situation right now. You know that we have been struggling along for the last few months with one engine only. It's not ideal when we're in these really remote parts of the world, kind of going through these narrow passes into the atolls or kind of maneuvering in tighter anchorages. But we are determined. This is not going to be the end of Red Seas. We are so sure that we are going to find a solution somehow. We put out a plea for help back in the Marquesas, and to be honest, we have been blown away by the amount of support that you guys have given us. All the messages we've received, so many of you have joined our Patreon community. You've been sending money to our tip jar. So yeah, we are amazed. Thank you all so much for that. We're not quite there yet, but we do have a clear idea of what our options are. So we wanted to share that with you today. However, just because our engines are broken doesn't mean that boat life stops. So we're going to get on with boat jobs and kind of give you an update.
Okay, so for those of you who haven't been following along, when we crossed the Pacific a couple of months ago now, we kind of may have melted an engine.
Engine problems, big problems. We turned on the port engine to try and bring it up to temperature to flush all of the coolant through, and then we were going to drain it again. And instantly there was crazy clattering, banging noise sounding like something was about to explode.
Yeah, our port engine kind of just spluttered to a halt and died, which wasn't great. We decided not to use it, and then we sailed all the way to the Marquesas. I haven't even started to look at the charts to see how easy this is going to be because we don't have any engines. So we're going to have to sail in, and then I might try and get one of the engines running briefly, although it is literally the last drops of oil that we have because there's an oil leak in our starboard engine. So if I put the last drops in there, maybe we can run it just long enough to get the anchor down. And then we have some kind of creative solution involving the dinghy and some ropes to try and back down and safely anchor at the end of this. And then eventually the mechanic we found basically did this gesture, and we knew it was bad news. Basically, he has said that the engine is dead. He literally did this. He says it's overheated so much that it is chewed up metal, which you can see in the oil, and a whole list of problems. And the more we've looked into it, the more we've realized that it basically is terminal. However, Brownie has something to show off because she's been busy.
Well, you complain about doing laundry, so I'm trying to make it better and more fun because look, I made a laundry bag.
Yeah. This is what accounts for a highlight in our day.
I know, right? I bought fabric. I have this thing where I buy fabric every country that we sail to, and then I kind of realize I have to use it up.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I'm just going to be making a whole lot of stuff now.
Where's it from?
This is from St. Lucia. See, I remember them.
That's quite impressive, actually. Okay.
Anyway, sorting.
Okay, yeah, on that point, sorting. We have to sort out a solution to this whole engine scenario.
Oh, I see what you did there. Look like the segue.
Segue. We're going to stay on point because we're not very good at staying on point. Okay, sorting out a solution. Well, we have a couple of different options.
Yes, a lot of people have assumed that we're going to do a rebuild. And to be honest, that was our first option. That was
absolutely.
Particularly if we were in mainland USA, or somewhere that was slightly less remote than the most remote part of the world. That is definitely what we would be doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair to say we're the kind of people who get very hands-on with things. You may have noticed who like to repair and rebuild and duct tape, super glue, prick stick. whatever we have to do to make things work. And so that was option one. We're going to rebuild the engine. However, as you say, the part of the world we're in, we started looking into that. And well, let's put it this way. One bottle of, turtle. Sorry, staying on point. It's just a small one, doesn't matter. One bottle of oil here is in excess of $80.
Yeah, so to rebuild an engine would basically be taking the whole thing apart and then replacing or fixing each individual component that was broken and then putting it back all together. So if
and
we're
if
having
it's
to
anything like IKEA, we'll have a couple of bolts left and we won't know where they went.
Imagine if we did that.
Totally happening. I don't think they give you the instruction thing with the line drawing
The little
man.
pictures.
And I don't think they supply a wrench. But yeah, it would be a bit risky because if we did all that and then we put the engine back together again and it didn't work.
Yeah, there's no guarantees that we would end up with a perfectly working engine.
No.
And there's no guarantees that it wouldn't end up costing just as many thousands of dollars as a new engine, because by the time we've shipped in parts from all over the world multiple times over. So
yeah, which brings up option two. So option two is, instead of us doing the rebuild, we hunt around on places like Facebook Marketplace and ask in the marinas and things and see if there's maybe the slightest chance of somebody selling a secondhand engine.
Which, again, has merits. Like, that would be the logical next step. But remember, if you zoom out on the map, we're right in the middle of nowhere.
There is very few people around. There
are not many options here. And we wouldn't know the history of the engine that we bought. So, again, it could end up quite a risky option because you're paying through the nose to get access to one, and then you could end up in the same problem a year down the line.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not a great way forward. Plus, my hand is getting really tired. So have we sorted this laundry yet? Because I need to put it in the machine.
It's fine.
Done! And that gives us our next option, which is to buy brand new, like shiny, shiny brand new Yanmars, which are not the cheapest engines on the market.
Well, they don't even make the exact same model of engine that we have anymore, so it wouldn't be replacing like for like.
No, and they've done a really strange thing. Well, it makes sense, I think. Lots of modern engines have moved from being very mechanical to being more computerized, more electrical, a thing called common rail. And with Yanmar, they're trying to basically, it appears, make it that we can't service them. You have to use a Yanmar technician who has access to some special equipment and computing power, and we could basically kill our engines just by tampering with the injectors.
Yeah, so not a perfect solution for a lot of, I was going to say off-roading, I'm in the car mindset.
Well, a bit like that.
For off-grid living, which, as you know, is kind of what we aim for.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't think buying brand new, well, we didn't even mention the fact that they cost insane amounts of money. And getting them here would cost even more money because it's all to do with percentage value, import taxes, stuff. So
not really an option.
Not at all.
So we looked at a bunch of other manufacturers as well. Loads of people have asked us about Beta Marine or Beta Marine.
Beta. No, Beta. We say Beta.
We say Beta, Americans say Beta. You know who I mean.
The red ones, the ones that make red engines, not the red people, the red engines.
So we really like those. They look really cool. However, we spoke with the company, and turns out that they have a lead time of 6 months.
It's ridiculous.
No matter what we do, we could not get a new engine for another 6 months. And then it would have shipping time of at least
over
2 months.
2 months.
Yeah, it was going to be ages before it actually got here.
Basically, it would take almost a year to land, and then we have to fit the thing.
Yeah, so that would be a whole year of our time in French Polynesia, completely gone with sitting around waiting. And that, again, just didn't really feel like an option that was a valid one for us.
Definitely not.
But we do have some good news.
We absolutely do. So there is another engine manufacturer who we've had our eye on for quite a while. And we started doing some asking around, and we stumbled across the UK distributor called AR Peachman. They distribute nanny engines.
Ooh.
They are really slick. They're based on a Kubota.
Kubota.
We're going to go with Kubota. I can never say that word. they're based on that engine block, which is global. You find them everywhere in the world, and all the parts can be found everywhere in the world because Nanny have distribution everywhere.
Yeah, so the people in the UK introduced us to Nanny Australia, who kind of deal with this part of the world, much closer to where we are. And yeah, they have just been incredible. We're still chatting with both companies' representatives everywhere. They're all working together to get us sorted out.
That's it. There's like a network where they actually communicate. So by talking to the guys in the UK, they were able to pass on what we were looking for and what we needed. The guys in Australia have been so helpful because they've already like worked out exactly what engine we would need to replace. Gearboxes, linkages, couplings, all the stuff I don't really understand yet, and I don't think you do either.
No, it's going to be a learning curve.
A big learning curve. And they have the engine we need sat in stock right now in Australia, in Sydney. And they said they can ship it here. They can get it here in like less than a month.
Yeah, it's incredible news. However, we are still $7,000 short of being able to make this happen.
You can hear the screeching brake sound as you say that. It's like, it's so close. And that is still very, very far.
Yeah,
so
we are doing everything we can, taking on video work, taking on whatever kind of jobs that we can to save up these funds and make it happen.
I think we're up to 5 jobs that we're working semi-full-time just to try and earn any penny we can.
We're basically using the phrase, we're stubbornly optimistic. We refuse to believe that this is a problem that cannot be overcome, and we are just going to do whatever we can to make this work.
Exactly. And that is where you guys come in. The comments section of our videos is pretty much my favorite place to hang out. The suggestions, the ideas, and just the general feedback we get from you guys in that part of YouTube is just so much fun.
Yeah. If you have enjoyed anything at all in the last 100 videos that we've made, if you would like to see another 100, please do consider coming over and joining our Patreon community. It's where you get early access to all of our videos. We sometimes put extra videos in there, extra content, behind the scenes stuff, real live, up to date, you know, sort of what I mean. Yeah, everything goes in there, and that is our way of saying thank you for your support. So yeah, go over and check it out.
Absolutely. And we've had a few people get in touch saying they prefer not to use Patreon. And for them and anybody out there listening, we set up a tip jar, which is basically, as it says on the tin, it's a place where you can just go in, you can decide if you want to support us by any amount of money, and it will land in our PayPal, I think, or something like that. And that is incredibly helpful. Someone described us the other day as digital buskers, and I thought that was bang on. Basically, we'll sit here and continue being clowns, trying to be somewhat entertaining and sharing our life with you. And this is us metaphorically and in a rare opportunity putting our little cap out in front of us. So yeah, if that's the sort of thing you'd be interested in doing as well, or instead of Patreon, then absolutely, just know how much we're thankful and grateful for that.
As we said, we are going to try and keep adventuring. We're going to try and keep things light and bright and get on with the adventure and the journey as much as we can. So we're going to stop talking now and let's go and do an adventure.
Yeah, we're going to get out of here, okay? Indy is safely on anchor over there. This is surprisingly built up. Given we were on the other side of the lagoon, which is just over the horizon that way, and there was nothing at all. And then when we went up north, that way, there was even less. I'm quite surprised to see this huge concrete dock and like proper concrete buildings and stuff. Look, it's like a proper town.
It almost looks like a kind of rundown resort. Like the buildings are quite modern and new. I don't mean that. Well, I was just looking at this building, which has like got paint peeling off it and things. But the buildings look like really modern and westernized. It's not what I was expecting. So we've just reached the main roads, the crossroads in the center of town. Which way do you want to go?
I heard on the grapevine that there is a shop, albeit probably a very small one, the second road on the right. But they described it as a dirt road, and this is not a dirt road.
No, this is far too high class.
So we're lost.
It's not my fault. All right, we found a dirt road. I'm taking it. I'm doing it.
We know where this ends.
At the shop.
The shop.
Winner! Well, that was really cool. We found the shop, so we didn't get lost. And,
look how smug you are about that.
I know. It was only about 20 metres off the main road, but still, I'm going to claim that.
And a giant sign that said shop.
But, yeah, a really nice guy called Gerard who runs it.
Quad bike.
Yeah, he wanted to practice his English, and we definitely need to practice our French. So we had like our sort of bilingual conversation about the island and the atoll and school. There's only 200 people who live here, and all the kids are about to go back to school. And I don't know, it's just quite cool hearing about the local area. Oh, hello, dogs. So yeah, really nice to like get a little vibe for the place. And he was like, and I promise the only reason that the food is expensive here is that it gets all shipped in from France to Papeete in Tahiti, and then they have to ship it here. And it costs more to ship it here from Tahiti than it does to get it from Europe to here in the first place.
So you'd happily bring things from Europe direct if you could. I mean, that's crazy. How cool is this? Outside church.
This is really cool. So I think I have an apology to make, because one of the things that Ian brought onto the boat when we first moved on was under some contention whether we would ever use it.
It was, and?
Because Ian thought it was absolutely necessary when we were moving from land life to boat life to bring not just a skateboard, but an electric skateboard.
Absolutely, and it came into use in Panama briefly, and then the battery died.
Briefly, he means for about 3 seconds until the battery died. Yes, my point was that if we were going to spend most of our life going to remote islands that didn't, just like in the middle of nowhere, it was just going to be like sandy beaches and dirt roads, and therefore you can't ride an electric skateboard on those. And here we are in the middle of nowhere in the South Pacific.
Remote islands, sandy beaches, and a perfectly flat, smooth
road.
Concrete road.
So, I would be apologising.
You should be apologising.
You still haven't got the skateboard out because the battery is not charged.
It isn't. But you can still say sorry because you were so mean about it.
So mean?
And you could say sorry because you've been proven wrong. And what do we always say?
Well, I will.
What do we always say?
I will say that when I see you riding the skateboard.
What do we always say though? What do we always say about Ian? Ian is...
Yeah, we always say Ian's always right.
Yes.
I love it, the kind of comparison between the fact that it's in a way built up, but we need to remember that we're in literally the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It would be very easy to forget where we were.
Yeah, it's oddly quiet. It's actually a bit like we were lucky enough to get to the Maldives once, and it reminds me a little bit of the Maldives. It feels like you've got one island and there's very set couple of roads.
Yeah.
And everything is based there, and there's nowhere else to go, kind of thing. But having heard there's 200 people here who live here, plus all the kids are back right now from school because it's school holidays, and they all have to live off the island locked down. It's just so quiet.
Yeah.
It's so quiet. It's so peaceful and relaxed.
But kind of well designed. Now we're back onto dirt roads again, but we've got power cables running by and everything is pretty well cultivated, and there's a design in the center of town with these straight concrete roads. I don't know.
It's very much, we're doing the road straight.
Where else would you put it?
Straight across the middle. Why would you do anything else? Front to back. Done. Crossroad. There is one.
The crossroad.
Well, it's an easy landmark, isn't it? We're doing a meet.
When you're giving directions to someone when they're trying to find a house.
Why did they say that for the shop? Second dirt road. Why did they say one back from the crossroad? Unfortunately, the sun is going down, and we know from other nights in this atoll, the bugs like to come out. So I think we're going to have to race back and shut the windows because I forgot to. That isn't so good. So yeah, we'll call it that, and yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow.